Hello everyone, this is Betsy from Ideas Times 2, and today I have a craft with me sort of process video. I've been doing some cleaning in my craft room and sorting ephemera, and I came across this tag. It's a beautiful, like a vintage quilt just kind of sewn onto a cardstock tag. And it is adorable, and someone had sewn a button on there for decoration. I just love it. So I've been sort of hoarding this, and also, like I said, I came across it again when I was cleaning. Not wanting to really get rid of it because it's so cute, but I decided that I'm going to make a mini journal. So I'm going to fold this in half and make a little tiny journal out of it. I don't know where I got this tag, but we did recently have a tag swap on our Facebook group, and so Cindy Fry or Samantha Jackstite, if it's you, if it's one of you guys who gave me this tag, just let me know and I'll give you credit for it, but I don't remember who it was. So I have started this already, but I wanted to bring you along to let you know, maybe give you some inspiration. So I did get a little bit of a start already. Just, you know, once you get crafting, sometimes you can't stop. That's kind of what I was doing. In order for this to bend easily, I decided to go ahead and remove some of the cardstock from the center there. So I've done that. And then I found out it's not glued on at all. So I just took my scissors and gently cut just that top layer. If it would have been glued, it still would have been fine. I just would have sort of scraped and removed some of that just to make this more flexible. So this button is sewn on straight through, and I've kind of had to think this through about the closure. I could have gone a couple of different ways with the closure, but what I decided to do is just leave this button here, and then to bring some twine around it. Anyway, so we'll get to that, but super excited that this is coming together. So what I did, first of all, what I'm going to do, I still have to reinforce this spine a little bit, I think. It doesn't have to be like super strong. This is just a very, tiny little journal with just a few pages in it. So I've made a couple signatures already and some little ephemera too. So what I'm going to do, I have a little piece of Tyvek, just from an old envelope, you can see. And I'm just going to slip that inside here. Let me get a little tool to help me here. So I'm going to slip this inside. You know what? I probably should run a little bead of glue just to keep that in place. So I'll do that. Make sure it's got a thin layer so it doesn't bleed through the fabric. I don't think it will, but so doing that there. I've been wanting to make a mini journal, so I'm excited about this. This is going to be super tiny. Another size I like to make is just like square journals, like maybe a little 6-inch or 5-inch square journals. I love those. So that Tyvek is in there. That'll be real strong but it's very flexible, which is kind of what I was after. And then I decided on just the vintage file folder for my end papers. This one has a little bit of embossing on it. I just love that. I think that'll be fun. And then I also have fabric, so I'll be gluing these on and then putting the fabric over the top like this. So this fabric, I did put a little interfacing on it just so that when I glue this down, it won't leak through the fabric quite as easily, and I'll be able to, I think, it'll just make it easier to get that down without any seepage or whatever. So I do need to decide on that closure though before I put all this stuff in. I want to make sure that well, actually the closure, okay, so what I decided to do the closure was, I remember now, so it is, I'm going to put an eyelet here, and I am going to reinforce this button because I'm going to use the button, and then I'm going to remove this here, this cute little string, but I'm going to reinforce this because I'm going to be wrapping twine around it and it might tug a little bit. So it is just held in with one stitch. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back. All right, so I did put an eyelet there, right there. And then this, I glued some Tyvek in the back, just the little scrap that I had from this spine piece. And I'm using some, what's it called? It's embroidery, man, I forgot what it's called. I used to use this all the time. It's a thicker pearl cotton, that's what it is. It's a thicker pearl cotton, and I'm using that to attach this. I left the original stitching on there as well, so also reinforcing it with this thicker thread. And what I'm going to do is, and also that Tyvek in the back will help too. So what I'm going to do is leave this knotted with just like a sort of a decorative little the decorative little ends sort of sticking out like that. So I'm going to do that, and then it'll be sort of a cleaner you know, loop around there instead of having the threads hanging down like it was before. So perfect. Now I have cut this already. Just going to go ahead and cover up that hole. Don't need it anymore. And I'm going to ink. This is a dark paper, but I am going to ink. I think it does make a little bit of a difference. I don't need to, actually don't need to be inking this because it's going to be covered up by fabric. But. So this, I just literally held it up to the tag and cut those same, you know, those same little angled notches that are at the top. All right, so that's gonna go there. I cut it just a little smaller than the cover. And then we'll get this side, and then I'm gonna make sure that embossing is going this way, because if I put it this way, then I'll probably cover it up with, I might be covering it up anyway, I'm not real sure, but if any of that embossing shows, I think that would be really cute. So we will give that a try. It's gonna be covered up a lot. I tried. I wish I knew. I hadn't really decided what I'm going to put on the back cover as far as pockets go or anything, so that's why I can't figure out that embossing, which side is going to be the most visible. All right, so now this is the little spine piece that I had already made. Also, I'm going to kind of crease this with my thumb, crease that cardstock so that it's got a real nice fold when I come to make it into a regular cover here. So right now I'm using Fabri-Tac for everything so far, which I think I probably will. I'm spreading this out though real thin so that it doesn't leave any wet spots on my fabric. So, and make sure I'm kind of even here. All right, I think that looks good. All right, so there we have a fun little cover. So I will need to poke through, grab my let me grab my awl here, because I put that, make sure that's an actual hole for me. I think the eyelet would have gone through this too, but I wasn't sure, so I put the eyelet just on the front cover. But sometimes it gets too thick, especially for those tiny little eyelets, so. Just make sure I've got a hole there so I can put my twine in. And I'll probably do the twine after everything's sewn in. So the next step would be to put the signatures on, although I think I am going to put a little bit of, so the signatures I made, already made, just typical sort of junk journal style. I've got all kinds of little, you know, miscellaneous papers and stuff, and I tried to put it in like the green and the burgundy from the cover, and I had some paper I'd already inked up and stuff, and so I just put those for the covers. Worked out really well, I think. So I might, though, before I start this, I might sew just a little bit of lace on a couple of these edges before I sew my signatures in. So if you have any sewing to do on your signatures, do that before you put it in the book. And then I'll make a little template and sew these in, but that's going to be fun. So I'm going to do my sewing. Right, so I sewed a little bit of lace on the edges. This one has a tiny bit of eyelash trim, which I trimmed down. I also put some little whale tail tabs. I just cut out a circle and made some little notches in it to make this whale tail tab looking thing. And same thing here. So there's a little bit of lace, and then there's little sari silk trim. So just different things that you need to sew should go first before you sew it into the book. I've actually done it the other way around, not intentionally, but something I'm like, oh, I wanted to add this, and then I'll add it at the last minute while it's sewn in the book cover, and it's just not that easy. So if you think of it ahead of time, it's always best. So I made a template. I've already punched holes in my signatures. I don't know if you can see that. And so now I'm going to punch holes in the book cover. So all this is doing is just saying where your middle is, how far down you're coming from the top and bottom, and then how far apart your signatures are going to be. So that's all this really is. Just made a grid. So I'm punching. And I'm not punching 3 lines because I only have 2 signatures. The middle line was only just to tell me where the middle was. Just easier to figure the math because my signatures are going to be a 1/4 inch apart. And so then it was easy to measure 1/8 of an inch on each side of that center line. Just real easy way to do it. Okay, so this goes in first. And it's the same way that you would do any other book. So I'm just going to quickly do one signature and then do the other one off camera so you don't have to watch me do them both. Just real easy. In through the center and then up through, and it's a little bit hard to see on the fabric, so I'm just going to sort of poke that through to see where it is. Should be right. I lost it again. Alright, I gotta remember better where that is. Okay, right there. And I didn't quite hit it, so just 1 second here. There we go, there's the hole. Okay, and then pull that, then up through this top hole. Could be top or bottom, doesn't matter. And then I'm just trying to get it through the holes that were punched in the signature. Hopefully my page is stuck together with my clip on there. There we go. Alright. So now we have basically 1 stitch, basically is what it is. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. through the cover. And then back up through the middle. Let's see if I can get it. Here we go, and just trying not to pierce the other thread that's in that hole already. So usually what I do is pull that string down in one direction and then just come alongside in the opposite direction. So let me get that in there. There we go. Took a minute. There we go. So you got a nice straight line there. And then we'll just pull this up a bit. And clip that off. And then you'll just bring your knot, bring your loose strings on one side of that long stitch and one on the other side, tie a knot. Real simple, and I will do the other one. And all stitched together. So the signatures were sewn directly into the spine. And so here's the finished look of it here. And then the closure I did figure out I would put, so I looped 2 strands of this baker's twine. I kind of had my heart set on this baker's twine, so I just kind of made it work, but when I was making it I thought, you know, a couple of different other ways would have been cute too, but this is perfectly fine. So I looped it around there, and then it's going to go around once, twice, and then the third time it's just going to loop around the button there, and then I will put something on the ends of these strings, like charms maybe, or beads, and that'll sort of finish that look of that. And then the next thing, I normally decorate signatures before I put them in the cover, but I don't have a whole lot going on here, so what I've already done is made some tuck spots, and here's a couple more tuck spots here. I made a belly band with a little notepad. I made a little booklet, and that'll go into one of the pockets. Here are a couple small collage tags. I made a snippet strip here. And then these are just some miscellaneous things that I thought would fit on the pages to decorate them a little bit. And this is, I think, is a Tracy Fox number, and I have a label and that kind of thing. Also thought I could do maybe a little stenciling if I have some smaller scale stencils, which I think I do. I'm going to put these in the book and decorate the pages. Like I said, I usually do that first, but in this case I was just bringing you along for the ride and wanted to get as much done with the cover especially as possible, because you guys know how to do all this stuff. So I did that, and then also figure out something for that front and back inside covers of the cover itself. So here we'll figure out something for that, and then I'll come back and show you what I came up with. Alright, so here it is. I think I'm done. Sometimes you think of doing a couple of additional things before it's all finished, but I think I'm done. So what I did was I put a little heart charm there, and this is the closure we already did. On the inside cover I put a couple of the pieces of ephemera that I showed you. So the pocket, I just glued that on, and then the booklet goes inside the pocket. So I'm not sure if I guess I'll just run through the whole thing. There's one of the tabs, some stenciling, and a label. There's that ephemera or the snippet strip. It's various different kinds of pages. There's a little stenciling on there. This is wax paper that's been dyed. Has a little extra piece there. Here is eyelash trim, pocket with tag. Just some interesting papers. I put the snippet there, and there's the lace on the other side. Another tab. This pocket has just a few pieces of ephemera in there. And another pocket with an ephemera piece. And second signature. Little short pages there. Here's the belly band with the notepad. Snippet. This is clipped with one of the Tim Holtz little tiny paper clips. Oops, I accidentally clipped that page too. Some stenciling and a butterfly glued on. Snippet. Another tab. Pocket with a tag. More stenciling there. Oops. Some ephemera glued on. Another piece of ephemera glued on. And botanical page. And then here's the back. So I did a little flip out. It's put held together with this very tiny bulldog clip. And it's a little fold out like this. So this is a pocket here. It's collaged up a little bit. This is a side tuck. This is glued on to the cover, and then on the back side we also have another tuck spot and a pocket with a tag. And then this clip, it's open just a little bit right here, so this clip holds that front cover on. And then just close it right back up again. So I thought I'd come along and show you how I finished up this little tag cover for this little journal. So hope you enjoyed that. I hope it inspires you. And the other tag journal. So lots of fun to do. I thought this one was small, and then I put those together and realized this is kind of big compared to that one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this craft with me kind of process video, how I went about doing this. And you can find us. We have an Etsy shop, Facebook group, Instagram. You can find us in those places, as well as this very YouTube channel. So thank you, everybody, and we will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.